What's up, guys? This is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. And before we get into this video, I wanted to quickly talk with you about my favorite lead vendor, Lead Heroes. If you're in the market for telemarketed, high-intent, high-quality leads, whether it be Medicare supplements, Turn in 65 leads, final expense leads, and anything else in between, Lead Heroes has got you covered. I personally use these leads all the time. I've spent money out of my own pocket to buy them, and I very much encourage you to give them a shot. This AEP, actually, which is what we're in right now. Glenn is fantastic. Glenn Shelton runs Lead Heroes. They're a fantastic organization. They really care about agents, right? I mean, you see so often these really, really big lead vendors, they seem to only care about the call centers and the gigantic organizations, but they care about you and me, the little guys, the little agents, and they really show it in terms of their service and the quality and the care that they give you. Head down to the description of this video. Check out the Lead Heroes website to purchase some leads today. I think it'd be a good decision and you won't regret it. And also down in the description, you'll find a 10% off coupon to get 10% off your lead order at checkout. Thanks so much for watching. Hey guys, Christian Brindle here, and I thought it would be kind of fun for me to explore some Medicare sales podcasts and see if we can find any good ones out there. And I thought I'd give you my opinion on kind of which ones are out there and which ones I like, which ones I haven't liked, and I thought maybe we could just react to some. So Eric Fierro's got one. How about that? So I know Eric a little bit, and I've always found his content to be fairly good. So I like that these are longer form, meaning like 20 minutes to 40-minute podcasts. I like that about podcasts. That's kind of how I've always tried to do my podcast. Let's see. I mean, what more can you say about Eric? I mean, let's just quickly listen to one. Using final expense as a chassis to MAPD residual income. Interesting. Okay, let's just listen to just a tiny bit. I know this is short video.
We wanted a way that agents could hone their craft and be a part of a larger community, get the resources they need and information they need to know. We cover relevant topics in the industry that will help you close more sales. We talk to top producers and industry leaders to share knowledge and best practices from around the country. So if you want to make more sales, then listen up because we're dropping gold. Okay, guys, super excited about what's about to happen here. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Clay.
Wow, Brandon Clay. Well, Eric's a huge name in the business, right? I mean, Eric's a call center owner, very, very well established, so he's going to have access to a lot of great guests. I like it. I mean, I'm going to have to go back and check it out, but let's see what else is out there. Great quality. I mean, Eric knows what he's doing in terms of content. I've always wondered about Agent Survival Guide podcast. I've never actually listened to it. Ooh, okay, so the time of recording this, can't seem to find the show you're looking for. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? Ritter Insurance Marketing Podcast. I've always heard good things about the Agent Survival Guide podcast, but I don't really know.
You're listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast.
Okay.
A podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static. In today's episode, October 15th is the first day you can enroll clients in a Medicare Advantage plan. But preparations for the
This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this is more for new agents or if any experienced agents like myself might be able to get anything out of this.
Annual enrollment period begin much earlier than that.
Yeah.
We're talking about how to complete those tasks in the Survivor's AEP checklist, written by Chad Hauk. If you've ever wished for an AEP checklist, congratulations, because that is exactly what we're talking about today. Our Agent Survival Guide team has compiled this list that covers 5 steps, plus some helpful tips to help you stay on track as you get ready for AEP. Let's jump in. Number 1, select your plans. Now is the best time to look over your current appointments and consider what's worked for your clients and what hasn't. Start by asking, do I have the brand plan that clients are going to ask for? People recognize
A decent point.
popular names and attach inherent value to those. Number 3, Medicare and FWA training. In order to sell, here at Ritter, we publish the
I think this is more for newer agents, but I haven't really listened to enough of it. But just that podcast right there, that episode I saw, more kind of struck me as, more for new agents. Now, Senior Agent Podcast is put on by Chris Westfall. And I know he gets touchy about anyone even saying anything about him, so I've got to be careful here. So, wondering, let's see, is there anything we can listen to on here? I'm a fan of Chris. I think he puts out a lot of great content. I just think he's mad at everybody for some reason. Let's see.
You are listening to the Senior Agent Podcast. This podcast is for insurance agents that are helping America's seniors with their financial choices. Here is your host, Christopher Westfall.
I often think about what advice would I give my...
I'm pretty sure, and if anybody knows and I'm wrong, you're welcome to correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure that this podcast is basically just the audio of some videos from MedicareAgentTraining.com ripped and put into a podcast format. So, I know that there's a lot of great content on MedicareAgentTraining.com and on the YouTube channel, so it's probably pretty good if that's a format you prefer to listen in. Let's move on. Let's see. Now, there's a lot of podcasts out there that are just basically, Medicare in general, in terms of more for beneficiaries. That would be like my podcast. A lot of people confuse my podcast with podcasts about for agents. A lot of people not get it confused and think my podcast is like agent training, and it's not. What do we got? The Complete Guide to Retirement. What am I looking at here? What is this? Medicare Podcasts. If mine's not on here, this site is just completely irrelevant to me because mine's the most popular, and I'm not afraid to say it. Fishing Well, that's for beneficiaries. Medicare for All Explained. Well, that's completely irrelevant. It's just some political ideology. Medicare for All, Senior Agent Podcast, Retirement Podcast. Yeah, what is all this? Well, it's probably just like people that they're friendly with that they put on here. They probably have no... Yeah, mine's not even on here, so the list is just irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, my podcast gets more listens than probably most of these all combined. I can pretty much guarantee that. Yeah, some of these haven't had new episodes put up for over a year. So this entire website is just a goof, The Medicare Nation's not on here either. My podcast and Medicare Nation, in terms of podcasts for beneficiaries, are the two most well-known Medicare podcasts on the internet. And there's Medicare Nation all the way down at the bottom. Is mine even on here? Mine's not on here. That's just singling me out because I talk a lot of shit, I guess. But if mine's not on here, this entire site is just, there's no credibility. I've never heard of 99.9% of these. What the hell is this? Let me quickly prove this to you guys. Okay, so we'll just do Medicare podcast. Let's not even do Medicare sales podcast. Look who's the first one to come up. Mine. The Everything Medicare podcast, right? I mean, so that website's just silly, goofy, smoofy. Okay, now, are there any others that I'm missing here? Medicare sales podcast. I'm just kind of going through the motions here and seeing who comes up the best. I mean, Eric's keeps coming up. Wondering, David Duford. I think this is an interview he did with Justin Brock. Yeah, this page doesn't exist. Okay. Interesting. Let's go to the second page. I mean, I know there's another sales podcast. I know Humana has one, but I think it's primarily for newer agents. Medicare insurance agents. Oh, I think I've come across this one before. But the last one they did was in May of 2019, so it's not active. Probably for newer agents. Yeah, steps to become an insurance agent. It's for newer agents. Probably pretty basic stuff.
The Medicare Insurance Agents Podcast, beginning in 3, 2. Hello, welcome to the Vista Mutual Insurance Services Podcast. I am Joe Valenzuela, your host, and I'm here again with Ivan and Joey.
Ivan from Vanberg Insurance Services.
So you're correct, yes, Ivan from Vanberg Insurance Services, and Joey Myers. His name is Ivan Lopez, if you want to look up his
Ivan M. Lopez.
Ivan M, yeah. There's a lot of Ivan Lopez.
Yeah.
Very much.
So today, we're going to talk about what the process is.
I think that's more for newer agents, guys. Like, brand new almost. And it's not active. I mean, if you haven't made an episode in over a year, your podcast might as well be dead. Put a fork in it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I don't know how this podcast survived, just doing 1 or 2 episodes a year, and then they had to take a year off, and silly. Ooh. National Association of Health Underwriters. Wonder if they got anything good. I know somebody had mentioned their podcast to me before. Podcasts and webinars. I want to see a podcast. Okay, small groups need to know compliance tool. Okay, is this a podcast? What is this? Here, maybe I should try this. Okay, what am I looking at here? I think this is it. Okay, listen to podcasts. That's what I want.
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for the NAHU Healthcare Happy Hour, the official podcast of the National Association of Health Underwriters. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify. The podcast is distributed on these platforms every Friday and is included in NAHU's weekly member-exclusive health policy newsletter, The Washington Update, giving you a head start on your weekly healthcare happy hour. After Republicans and Democrats failed to come to an agreement on a fourth COVID-19 relief package, President Trump signed several executive orders designed to provide relief to millions of financially struggling Americans. On this week's episode of the Healthcare Happy Hour, Compliance Corner member and CEO of MZQ Consulting, Jennifer Berman, joins us to discuss exactly what these orders do,
Mr. Personality, right?
And how they could impact you and your clients. Marcy, can you quickly remind listeners what the significance of an executive order is?
So I do want to point out there is a little bit of a difference with some of the pieces that we're going to be discussing today. And we're talking about 4 different pieces that came out from President Trump. One of them is...
So this is more of like legislation. which I'm not that surprised because it's National Association of Health Insurance Underwriters. I think that's more kind of what they're geared towards. I don't think they're really going to go towards like into Medicare sales too much. One thing I'd be interested to do is maybe I can find Apple Podcast and then just search Medicare sales and see if I can find anything. Because I know there's more podcasts than this, right? Google's letting me down. Huh? Oh, I'm searching probably music or something like that. I don't want to do that. I want to look at podcasts. Oh, do I need to be in iTunes for this? Let me go to Stitcher. Okay, let's try Stitcher. I don't want Medicare podcast, I want Medicare sales podcast. That's what I want. Okay, the sales engagement podcast. Interesting. Okay, now we're talking. Sales engagement is the number one podcast focused on engaging your customers and prospects, but it's about Medicare. That's what I want to know, you goof. I don't see anything about Medicare, so moving on. I want a Medicare sales podcast. There might not be a bunch of them though, but who are you? Sales gravy. There's Eric again. Medicare Bears? Oh, God. Okay, this is a Bernie Sanders thing. Moving on. Yeah, there's not a lot of these out there, guys, that I can really find. I definitely would recommend Eric's, right? I mean, I think Eric's is going to be pretty good. I think for some newer stuff, the Humana podcast probably isn't too bad. I'll see if I can find that here. But yeah, guys, make some more Medicare sales podcast. Can't seem to get where I want to go. Let's see, Humana sales podcast. That's it. Grow your book. It's more for newer agents, but it's not a bad thing. Like, they got some decent stuff in here. Like, make retention your number one sales strategy. I don't know if I agree with that, but retention is important. Hugely important.
Welcome to Grow Your Book, the Humana podcast series where we help agents like you tackle topics that matter most to your business. Here, you'll get the inside line on tips and tricks that truly make a difference. Learn how to write more business, enhance your agent experience, and help members achieve their best health. On the go, at your command, get ready to grow your book. Hello, Humana agents. This is your Grow Your Book host, Jason Rockover, here with a very important episode. We're recording this episode in June 2020, where it's no secret that the coronavirus pandemic has changed the way we live and work.
We're agents in select markets. Myself, I cover Minnesota, Montana, North Dakota, and Wyoming.
That's great, and thank you for explaining that to all of our new agents.
Yeah.
So, Rocky, what made you realize that a good retention strategy is as important as it is?
It seems pretty like Barney-like, right? Like Teletubbies, like. I mean, from what I heard right there. Medicare Marketing 101. I'd love to know how they actually market. Is it all grassroots stuff? Do they actually share anything?
Welcome to Grow Your Book, the Humana podcast series where we help agents like you tackle topics that matter most to your business. Here you'll get the inside line on like a nice lasagna. Oh boy, I hope this doesn't become a problem. Nah.
Making. That will give you insight into your current clients and folks you haven't even met yet.
And besides learning about your current clients and their specific needs, how can agents get to understand Medicare populations in general?
So agents need to know different Medicare eligible populations. There are several subsets of Medicare clients that agents should get acquainted with. Some of these key populations include our Hispanic audiences, dual eligible population, veterans, and even our aging in population.
Right. So agents, I'm sure you're familiar with at least one of these demographic groups. No matter which market you serve, we recommend getting to know them well. So Noah, would you mind giving us a rundown on the Medicare eligible populations?
Sure, Jason. I'll start with Medicare agents.
Right. These are the millions of Americans turning 65 each year. So it's important to understand what agents are going through.
Precisely. Agents, you need to know that even before their 65th birthday, they are bombarded with advertisements in the mail, which means that they're even suspicious of people marketing to them.
Right. I mean, can you imagine if your mailbox was full of ads every day for something you couldn't even buy yet?
It's definitely something that most agent beneficiaries can relate to. So it's important to approach relationships with agents with a light touch. Understand that many of them think that using an agent actually is more expensive than enrolling on their own.
Yeah, this is basic stuff, guys. This isn't anything too advanced or anything that's going to change your business. Maybe if you're like, you just got your license, it's okay. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video enjoyable. If you did, do me a favor. Let me know by liking the video. Subscribe for future content, and let me know which podcast you liked, didn't like, which maybe would you like to see us create a Medicare sales podcast? I mean, let me know about it. I'm not going to promise we will, but I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. Thanks for watching this far into the video. Take care. Have a good day.